Hello, everyone. Welcome to the All Things Good podcast. Once again, I am your host, Jovanna, and I'm excited to tap into today's topic. How many of you guys are actually going through a process? I'm going through a process. And I'm here to remind you that we're always going to be processed. Why? Because we should be going from glory to glory, from one level to the next level. And in order for us to attain that level of glory, there is a process that we must undergo so that we are coming out refined. So, don't despise the process. And in your process, you're going to go through some things. You're going to experience challenges. You're going to make the wrong turn. You're going to make a wrong decision. You're probably going to say the wrong thing. You're probably going to try to go back to your old ways. And you might even get frustrated with yourself when you start to realize this. But hey, at least you acknowledge that the old you is trying to come back, and the old you is trying to, go back to that comfortable place. You're aware. Welcome. A lot of people are not aware of their behavior, of their thought patterns, of what they're doing, of what they're saying, of the place they're trying to go back to. So if you have acknowledged this in your life, then I give you a round of applause, because not a lot of people are aware of the decisions that they're making or anything of that sort. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace. We're so quick to give everyone else grace, but when it comes to ourselves, when it comes to forgiving ourselves, when it comes to doing something for ourselves, why do we find it so difficult? Why do we have this guilty conscience? Or better yet, this negative perspective on our own lives and our own selves? Why are we our own worst critics? And that's a big thing. We're our own worst critics. It's so terrible to have that mindset to constantly put yourself down. Have grace for yourself. Yes, you are not the place where you want to be. You're not there yet, but you're moving forward. You're moving towards that goal. So pat yourself on the back, even right now. If you're in the mirror or you're, in your car, wherever you are, say to yourself, whatever your name is, I am doing good. I am progressing. And just because that progress is not as quick as you want it to be, or as smooth as you want it to be, it does not mean that you are not progressing. Is your mind changing? Are your thoughts changing? Are your habits changing? Even if it's not a consistent thing, as long as you catch it. Let me give you an example. Let's say you are looking to speak more positively in your life. And then one day or 1 minute, 1 hour, all of a sudden there's a negative thought, but you catch it. And you say, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it this way. That's progress, because a few months ago, a few weeks ago, you weren't doing that. You were just allowing those thoughts to ruminate in your mind and allowing them to take root. But now you're not. So have some grace for yourself. Lord, have mercy in this season. Because if you can't have grace for yourself, you shouldn't be looking from it from somewhere else. You should be getting it from yourself. You should be encouraging yourself. I remember there was a saying, who's encouraging the encourager? Encourage yourself. Please don't encourage everyone else and then fail to encourage yourself. It's okay to have positive self-talk, to say things to yourself so that you can realign with the vision that God has given you. So I've been diving into spoken word and poetry. I've always been a writer. I put it down for some time, picked it up again, put it down, picked it up again, whatever the case might be. And I've enrolled in a couple of open mics. The first time I did the open mic, I was rambling on. Now, I used to rap. I'm not sure if you guys know that, but I used to be a rapper. And when I wrote this, it was a rap song. And I tried to convert it into poetry. And I did. But when I went to perform the spoken word, it came out as a rapper. And I was nervous. I was sweating. It was like Eminem, palms are sweaty, heartbeat was racing, everything. It was crazy. My words were, impactful, but I went so quickly that it couldn't allow the audience to process them. And so I was a bit discouraged by it. My daughter was there and she was like, Mom, you did good. You just got to slow down. And so, gave myself grace for that. I did another open mic. I won the open mic, won $50. Did another open mic. I lost it. Didn't win anything. And I could have easily said, man, this sucks. My mindset could have been discouraged. I could have gotten to a place where I'm never going to try again. But I said, it's okay. Because there's still room for growth. My old mindset would have said, I'm going to quit. I'm not going to do it again. But my new mindset is saying, it's okay. I need to practice more. It's okay. I need to, write more. It's okay. I need to develop more. What is your mindset? What is your perspective? I'm telling you, perspective is everything. And I'm so glad that God began to speak these things to me because my perspective needed to change. And it's changing. And I'm giving myself grace because we give everyone else grace. I give everyone else grace. I will forgive you. We can look past it for years and years and years. But when it comes to myself, I will hold on to it. I'm done doing that. Because if we can be our own worst critic, we can be our best encourager, our best coach. I'm coaching myself. So when it looks like you're doing wrong, or maybe you're not doing your best, and you feel like you could give more, then do it. But don't dwell in that area where maybe you lacked. Just assess it, reevaluate it, and do better. And I think that that's where a lot of us need to reprogram our minds and refocus and encourage ourselves. And if you don't have someone to encourage you, then I am going to be your number one encourager. Because I know the necessity of someone to encourage you, to not continuously focus on the bad, but focus on the good things that you're doing, the things that you're developing in, those things that you're thriving in, those things that you are overcoming. I want you to focus on that. And I want to encourage you to focus on that. Because your mistakes don't define you. You have to get up and you have to keep trying. Have grace for the in-between. For those moments where you don't feel qualified, for those moments where you don't feel adequate, for those moments where you might have dropped the ball, pick it up again. It's okay. Just keep trying. Keep going forward. Keep moving. Keep doing what you need to do. Because there are people, there are souls connected to you. There are lives you have to change. There are worlds that you have to turn upside down. There are people that need to hear your voice, that need to taste your product, that need to feel your material. Whatever it is that you're doing, they need you. You need you. Your kids need you if you have kids. So have grace. It's easier to give grace to others. I'm going to keep saying that because it is. When you think of grace and you look up grace, it's like grace onto others. But what about yourself? Stop trying to be perfect. Perfectionism is the worst. I'm not going to say worse because a lot of you guys might have this perfectionism. So I'm not going to, discourage you. But I want to encourage you to forgive yourself for the things that you did not do correctly. The other day I got on the scale. I'm going to be completely vulnerable with you guys. And I did not like the number. And I could have easily got upset. You know what I did? I laughed. I said, wow, I must have a lot of meat on me. Because, okay, now I know there's some things to work on. Another me, months ago, years ago, would have gotten depressed, would have done, X, Y, Z. Now I'm laughing. Because I'm like, okay, we got work to do, baby. We got work to do. Change your mindset. Practice gratitude. These are ways for you to give yourself grace by practicing gratitude. Okay, I didn't do this. I didn't accomplish this on this day, but I'm thankful that I was able to get this done. I'm thankful that I was able to do this instead. We got to look at the brighter side. We got to look at the things that are good. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop saying, well, they're doing this and I'm doing that and they're doing it so much greater, or they're moving a lot faster, or they're connected to this person and this and that, and just stop. Comparison will sink any ship, any friendship, any relationship. It will sink it. No one wants to be compared. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to others. Stop. You're going to hinder your own self from ever going forward if you constantly look at what everyone else is doing and compare it to you. No. Just look at your journey. Look at what you're doing, how you've progressed, and leave it at that. Put a period there. But what if, or she, or he, but this? No. Stop. Stop it. Stop. I feel like I'm telling you to. I just had a vision of someone going to reach for something and I'm hitting your hand. Nope, don't do it. You're trying to look for a reason to put yourself down. You're trying to look for a reason to, discourage yourself or not give yourself the credit that you need. Nope, I'm hitting your hand. Déjalo. Stop. Stop it. Go forward. Move forward. Do what you need to do. Have grace. And when you have grace, you'll realize that life is more beautiful in that way. And have grace for those around you. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say, for instance, you have a friend who, has this amazing potential, but they don't quite believe it in themselves just yet. And they don't live up to that potential that you know that they have within them. What would you do? Will you discourage them and continue to point out their flaws? Will you discourage them and continue to show them what they're doing wrong? Or will you look at the things that are right and encourage those things? The same applies to yourself. You should have, number one, people who do that for you. If your friends and your family are constantly looking at the things that you're doing wrong and never encouraging the good things, building on the good things, then you need to change your atmosphere. Trust me, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to always, for everything that is ever wrong to be completely emphasized, and what you do correctly is never awarded, is never acknowledged. It sucks. It discourages you. It brings you down. So don't allow anyone to do it to you, and don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. I'm telling you, stop. When you stop putting yourself down, and it's not like you're puffing yourself up in pride. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying change your mind, change your perspective, change your words. And when you change your words, you change your atmosphere. And it's going to take a while for everything to begin to shift, for things to align. But the more that you do it, I'm telling you, my mind has changed so much within these past couple of months that I'm like, wow, I look back and I'm like, I can't believe that my thoughts are different now. I was so negative before, and now I'm so positive for myself, to myself, because it starts with me first. And I don't have negative people in my ear telling me what I'm doing wrong. No, that's not happening. It's not happening. I'm okay with the things that are incorrect. But if you're focusing on everything I'm doing wrong and you can't give me a pat on my back for one thing, and I'm not looking to be exalted, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is appreciate the good things that I do. It's encouragement. Encourage. There's this man called Jordan Peterson, and he wept. And he wept because he stated that there are not enough encouragers out there. There are not enough people rooting and encouraging and cheering for people. People are so hopeless. They're in a place where they're discouraged. They're in a place where they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're surrounded by these people. If we had more people encouraging and saying, go, you can do it, and never going back on that encouragement because they did something wrong. Oh, what about that? Conditional encouragement, conditional love. You only tell me good things to get what you want, but once I say no, then all the good things stop. No, that's fake. An unconditional encouragement that says continue. Okay, you messed up, keep going. Okay, you fell, get up. That's what we need. That's what this world needs. That's what this podcast is about, to encourage you. to encourage you to go further. And so I'm done. I feel like that's enough. Well, that about wraps up this episode. I want to thank you so much for listening to the All Things Good podcast. I hope that you share and send with those around you. And remember to keep your mind focused on all things good. Until next time, I'm your host, Jovanna Suhrio.